good afternoon. Today is Monday, February 3rd, and no one told me it was their birthday or their anniversary or anything like that. If you're new to my channel, if you let me know when it's your birthday or or whatever, somebody you want me to sing to, just let me know in the comments below and I will mark you in my birthday and anniversary calendar and I will sing to you for your anniversary. Let me know who your significant other's name is so I can sing to the both of you. And if you want to share how many years, let me know on that too. And I will I'd be more than glad, more than happy to sing to you because I love to celebrate people's great celebrations with them. I had a busy day, made up for the lackadaisical laying around doing nothing weekend. I was very, very busy today. We had to bring Mary to the hospital downtown Detroit for her just checkup for her liver and kidney transplant. And so she just spends the night. It's just easier. So she came last night and we just had for dinner egg salad sandwiches. She says, let me get a pizza. First of all, she's not supposed to have carry-out food. I don't know about pizza, but I think I said, well, we just had pizza the other day. I had pizza in the freezer. And I said, I was just planning on I got to take this. I'll be right back. Well, I'm back, and you don't realize that we've been gone for 45 minutes. That was my friend, the elusive Kathy. And I was talking with her, and we just got talking about a bunch of stuff, and just rattled on and on and on and on. Anyway, so I had Mary came last night, spent the night. We got up, and we left the house this morning at 7:30. The weather was awful. It was awful. It was very, very foggy. It was like it was like a sleety, kind of snowy, kind of wet, kind of thing. And then when we get to the hospital, they have it's like a wheelchair row. Because like when you pull into the valet, they have all the wheelchairs all lined up so that, like people just get out of the car and get right into the wheelchair. But they were all wet because of all the rain and everything. So I had to dry the thing all off. It was just an ordeal, I'll tell you. And then get Mary all situated and getting all of her bags of her stuff because she's got to bring stuff with her. It's like, do you really need all this stuff? It's like she's packed like she's going to spend the night. Well, she had to spend the night in the past, so now she comes prepared with everything that she needs, just in case she's got to spend the night. So we get there, and the first stop is the lab so that she can draw the blood. Every time we've gone, we've only had like one or two people ahead of us. We come around that corner, and there's people stacked in the hallway. They're not even in the lab room. They're all stacked in the hallway, standing room only. And so you got to go into the lab lobby or whatever to go in there. And they probably, in the lobby itself, I would say they probably got about 50 chairs. Not a vacant chair in the place. Because Mondays and Thursdays are the clinic days for the transplant people. So we got into the lab at 8:20. Her first appointment was at 9 o'clock. And we left the lab at 9:30. So obviously we were late for her first appointment. So we saw her kidney doctor first, and she got a really good checkup. Everything came back well. Her incisions are healing up really nice, and she's very happy with the progress. Her kidney is starting to work a little bit better than it was, and so that was good. So we got done with that. We had the nurse come in first, then we had the physician's assistant come in, and then we had the actual doctor come in. And then from there we went over for her, which was her 9:30 appointment, which by now it's like 10:30. So we're going for the 9:30 appointment with the liver doctor. And same thing, you see the nurse, then the nurse is the practitioner, and then the actual doctor comes in, and he examined everything, and he said everything was doing well. And she had gained, because when we were there last week, he had said, you've lost 75 pounds since your surgery. And Mary says, no. He says, yes, 75 pounds you've lost. So when I told Denise, I said, yeah, the doctor said he lost 75 pounds. She says, no, she'd be dead if she lost that much weight. Nobody can lose 75 pounds in a month. And I go, I'm just going by what the doctor said. And he was looking at the chart and everything. She says, well, you're wrong. You're just wrong. And I go, oh, I don't think so. I'm just going by what the doctor said. So then she called Mary, and then she was arguing with Mary about the thing. So then we were there today, and she'd lost another 5 pounds, which is fluid. It's not like weight. It's fluid that she's losing. And so then he was looking at the chart and he says, well, yeah, he says, now you've lost almost 80 pounds. And I says, are you sure? You know, because I said I had an argument with my sister, not this one, but my other sister, and she's insisting that there's no way that she could have lost 80 pounds. And he said, well, let me look at the chart. And so then he looks at the chart, and I'm going to tell you Mary's weight. She don't really care anyhow. But when Mary went into the hospital on the 3rd in the morning, they weighed her, and she weighed 178 pounds. And then the day after the surgery, they weighed her, and she weighed 244 pounds. I said, I think they made a mistake. And he said, no. He said, that was fluid. He said, that's what happens. We pump them all up with fluids and stuff like that. So that's why she had so much excess fluid. We do that to get the kidney and the liver and everything functioning in that. So they pump her body with all this extra fluids. He says, and so then slowly she started losing it while she was in the hospital. And then she lost a good majority of it. That's why we let her go, because she lost so much of it before she left. We wouldn't have let her go if her body was still retaining the water. She says, but from her heaviest the day after surgery until today, she's lost 80 pounds. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. So like, he examined her and he said, she's doing really well. And then he says, but we're going to continue on, you know, with her coming in on Mondays and Thursdays. And then he says, well, she needs to come on Friday because she's got to have, they don't want her to get pneumonia. So she's got to go for some kind of breathing treatment that takes like an hour or an hour and a half or something like that. He says, but I still need her to come in for that on Friday. And I says, oh, we've already made arrangements. Somebody's coming on Friday. My sister Denise is bringing her on Friday. And so he says, okay, because for the next year, she's going to have to come in every 28 days to have that done. And I said, okay, that's not a problem. You know, I said, we got a calendar going for February. As my brother usually takes her on Mondays, I usually take her on Thursdays. We just, you know, not that you needed to know, but we switched today because my brother's having some, his varicose veins stripped today. So he's going to take her on Thursday, and I'm taking her today on Monday. And he says, well, no, it's just nice that your family all works out, that you have a calendar going and everybody. He says, I've seen so many of your family. He says, I've seen somebody all the time. And I go, yeah, because my sister-in-law, her sister-in-law helps, my daughter helps. So, you know, we kind of work it around. So he says, well, okay. So then he says, well, everything's doing really well. He says, so, you know, we'll just go from that. He says, but I still need her to go for an x-ray today. And I go, an x-ray? I thought we were done. He says, no. He says, it's only a precautionary measure. He says, because it's been a month since her surgery. We just want to take an x-ray just to make sure everything's settling in and that there's no swelling or anything inside, you know, because I can't visually see that. And so I said, okay. So he says, you just go down there. So I went down there. So we went down to that floor. And so then we were there forever. Forever and ever. And so then Christy called and she says, I need you to do me a big favor when you bring Mary back to the apartment. And I go, what? She says, I need you to do her pills for the week because I was going to go tonight to do them because she's only got today's pills. Because Lenny, who is Aaron's father, she says, we went to Lenny's yesterday and he tested positive for COVID this morning. And she says, until I test negative, you know, I want to wait like the 5 or 7 days or whatever. She says, I don't want to be around Mary just in case I'm a carrier of it. And I said, no, that's okay. I said, when I get back to the apartment, I'll do her pills. That's not a big deal. I don't like doing it because, oh my gosh, she takes, so many pills. I think she's probably got 25 or 30 pills that she takes, like some in the morning, some at night, some in the afternoon. And it's just, it's like, I'm like so cautious with it, you know, it's like, I don't want to give her too many. I don't want to not give her enough. And so I said, fine, we'll do that. That's not a problem. So we get downstairs, we pay for the valet, wait for the truck to come. The truck comes, we get in the truck, I get Mary all situated. I'm just about ready to get in the truck. And Jim says, guess what? And I go, what? He says, I lost my phone. I go, what do you mean you lost your phone? The man drives me crazy. Put the phone in your pocket. It's like, ooh. Because he did it when Mary was in the hospital after the surgery. We got all the way to the truck and then I had to go back to her room to find, I remember, if you don't remember this, but I had to go back to the room to find his phone. So I said, well, where is it? Well, it could be in the lab and it could be up by the liver and kidney doctors because that's just one waiting room. Or it could be by the x-ray department, which is all different rooms. Now I measured it out because I wanted to know, this hospital is huge. From the truck to the first stop that I went to, which was the lab, is 3/4 of a mile. I got my walking in today, let me tell you. So I went there, and it wasn't there. And that was on the first floor. So then as I'm going up, I thought I should just get off at the third floor and see if it's on the third floor, because that was the last place we were, and that's probably the last place he had it. But for some reason, I didn't. I just hit the 16th floor, and we went up to the 16th floor. Not we, but anybody that was in the elevator went with me to the 16th floor. We went up to the 16th floor, and no, it wasn't there. So go back to the third floor. Yeah, that's where it was. Somebody had turned it in. Thankfully, somebody had turned it in. So I bring it back to the truck, and then we drove home. So then we get to Mary's house. I did all of her pills. I was just getting ready to leave, and my phone rings, and it's Danny. And he says, "Where are you?" And I says, "Well, I'm at Mary's apartment." And he says, "Well, what are you doing?" And I go, "I'm just getting ready to leave." "Why?" Oliver's having some issues lately where he's having seizures, and he's blacking out. And he's going to a neurologist. They've been doing tests and stuff like that. He actually has an appointment tomorrow that they're going to discuss medications, because all of the lab results and stuff came back. And he says, Oliver's had 2 episodes already, and the school thinks it's best if somebody goes and picks him up. So I says, "We're leaving here now. We'll go pick up Oliver." So we picked up Oliver, brought him back here, and then he just went and laid down in the bed. And Danny just left a little while ago. He picked him up and brought him home. But hopefully it's not anything too serious. I, at the same age, had seizures. And they, at the time, told me that I was a borderline epileptic. And I had seizures up until I was 22. I think the last seizure I had, no, I take that back. Yeah, I was 22. The last seizure I had was when I was delivering Jimmy, because I had turned 22 in September, and then I had Jimmy in October. And I had a convulsion while I was in delivery. And that's the last one I've had. So I don't know if it's hereditary or what, but hopefully that they'll find some medications that Oliver can take. He was like, when I picked him up, he was crying, and I go, "Why?" And he says, "It's so embarrassing." And, I've had convulsions, and they are embarrassing, especially if you're a teen. If you're older, you can say, "Well, I have an illness and stuff." But like when you're in middle school, it's like, you get to be known as the weirdo or something like that, and it's not a pleasant sight to see if anybody's ever seen anybody have one. It's not anything anybody would want you to witness. I know that one time when I was in high school, I was going to have one, and I could feel it coming on. And I asked the teacher, I raised my hand, could I leave to go to the restroom? And she told me no. And I knew I was going to have one, and I'm thinking, I am not having one of these in front of all these people. There's just no way. And I just grabbed my books and got up and walked out of the room, and the bathroom was right across the hall. And I went in the bathroom, and I had a seizure. Composed myself when I came out of it, and went to go back in the room, and she wouldn't let me in the class. She wouldn't let me in. She sent me down to the principal's office, not the principal, my counselor's office. My mother went over there. She went into that room, and she started yelling at that teacher, which was even more embarrassing than if I would have had the convulsion. Like, "You shouldn't be my daughter." It's like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, stop. It's like, it was like, whatever. But then the teacher, anytime I ever raised my hand, if I had to leave the room, she let me leave the room after that. Because she just didn't want the wrath of Junie. My mother's name was June, the June bug. No, nobody wants to have that wrath. But I would have done the same for my kids too. I mean, just, you got to be their biggest defender. But, you got to know when not to cross that line. Just because they know you're going to come to their defense, you got to know if they deserve you coming to their defense. Because there was a few times with Jimmy that he didn't deserve me coming to his defense, and he needed to take the consequences, because Jimmy definitely was my march to his own drummer type of boy, because we had lots of issues with Jimmy, lots and lots. But look at the great man he turned out to be. He just had to find his little way in life, and he found it, and so that's just the way it goes. School's not for everybody, but you got to get a diploma. You just definitely got to get a diploma, but sometimes things just aren't for everybody. You just got to find your niche in life, and Jimmy's found his niche. And although we knew very early on that he was going to be a carpenter of some sort, because ever since he was a little boy, building was his main objective in life, was building. It's just, he saw so much treasure in the trash that he could build something with it. But anyway, that's it. Now I'm going to watch some YouTube videos. When we got home, I had breakfast, which was at like 3:30. I had some raspberries and blackberries and strawberries, and I had a banana, and I had some toast and a piece of cheese and a cup of tea. And I'm really kind of full right now, so I don't know if I'm going to have anything for dinner. Probably just have some fruit or something. Not fruit. I had enough fruit. I'll probably have something. A salad maybe. I think I'll make a salad. I didn't weigh myself because I usually weigh myself when I get up at about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning with no clothes on. And since I got up at 6:45, I didn't think that would be a true weight reading. So I'm just going to wait till next week, see how it goes. But I did pretty well last week. I don't think I would have had a gain. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel bigger. I don't feel any of that. So, and I don't really want to weigh myself tomorrow. Mondays are my day. That's when I'm going to weigh myself. So tune in next Monday to see how I did. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's talk again tomorrow. How's that sound?